How to buy your first rental property with no money. In this video, I'm gonna share the strategy that I used to pick up my first 2 rentals, guys. And the cool thing about this is I still didn't have a whole lot of money at this time, but that's the best part. I'll show you how to do it so that you don't need to use any of your money as well. I'm gonna be talking about a strategy that's called BRRRR. Now guys, not because it's cold, but it's BRRR. But more importantly, I'm gonna share with you, if you stick with me to the end, how the last R is where most investors make their biggest mistake. Let's talk about the first one, which is B. B stands for buy. And for those of you that are subscribers to my channel, you'll know that I talk a lot about wholesaling and how I use it to be able to find homes at a deep discount. This helps me really already be in the best position when finding or buying my rentals. Now, because I use wholesaling that allows me to get those homes at 40, 50, maybe 60 cents on the dollar, I'm already buying the home at a deep discount. So going from here, now what are some of the simple math, some of the simple maybe conditions that have to be met before I say yes to keeping it as a long-term buy and hold or a rental? The first one, it's crucial, is it's got a cash flow. So for some simple math, I know there's other ways out there, other strategies out there, but I like to get to things really quick. And the best one I've seen, the best one that I continue to use is what's called the 1% rule. The 1% rule breaks this down so simple. If you're going to be all in, meaning you buy the home maybe for $120,000, but it takes some money to fix it up, so all in, it's $140,000 to purchase a home. It needs to rent for at least 1% of that end price. So if it's $140,000, you need to be able to rent it in that area for $1,400 a month. Now, because we're talking about buying, you might be asking, well, Cody, how are you doing this? You said I didn't have to use my own money, and I didn't either. So let me break it down a little bit simpler for you on this front end, the B, the buy, how I did it specifically. And that is just Google the term hard cash lender or transactional funding. And you'll find out there's individuals out there that are willing to lend their money out. Yes, it does cost more than like your typical transactional lender, like the ones that are mortgaging like a Wells Fargo. Yes, it's not going to be that kind of a loan. It's going to be one that is maybe an investor, has a lot of money sitting in the bank, and they lend it out for a fee that's going to be costing you a little bit more than the normal loan. If you go that route, it's crucial that you already prep with either your title company or your closing attorney. This is something that can't be overlooked. If you're gonna use hard cash lenders like I did, you gotta make sure that that note or that loan that you're borrowing from them is recorded correctly with the title company so that it actually is a loan, that it is recorded against the home. This will have a huge play in what we're gonna be talking about at the end with the last R that most people make mistakes. The second step with the R is renovate. Renovate is crucial. When I bought these homes, because I got them at a discount, I think I got these right around 40 cents on the dollar. Well, also though, these homes were not in rent-ready condition. It wasn't something that I could just put a renter in tomorrow. It needed a full rehab. I needed to put a whole new kitchen in. I need to put all new flooring in. I need to paint the house all over. And then more importantly, I needed to finish the basement. It was just kind of framed in, but it wasn't finished. So we had to do the whole entire finish in the basement. Now this home, we ended up picking it up for $120,000, and it took us an additional $30,000 to get this home rent ready. Now there's 3 things when it comes to those renovations, because sometimes we're thinking about remodeling a home to where we're gonna be living in it. You gotta remember there's a difference between like a retail sale and a rent-ready home. You don't need to have the high-end finishes. So some of the things that I always say is when it comes to cabinets, don't get new cabinets. Maybe just repaint them. Or if the doors are broken, maybe just replace the doors and put new doors on. But don't replace all the countertops and all the cabinets. It's not necessary. The other one that's crucial is flooring. A lot of times I see people put high-end carpet, the ones that have the pet stain remover on it and all that fun stuff in it. You don't need to do that. This is not anything you need to spend a ton of money on. And yes, if you're doing it for a retail home, maybe the buyer is going to be expecting that because they're paying top dollar for it. But this is just a renter that's going to rent a home that their family can live in. And most likely, they're probably going to still do damage to those carpets that you paid a lot of money on, that you're going to have to replace them in between. The last one is flooring within like kitchens and bathrooms. You don't need to go expensive tile. You can do some laminate flooring like the linoleum flooring that's waterproof, cheap, but it looks good. Again, guys, rent ready is the key word here. Now, you might be thinking, how do you do this though? You said I don't have to have money. I make sure that my hard cash lender that lent me the initial $120,000 is also willing to lend the $30,000 that I needed for that rehab cost. So those are crucial. And notice this though, the home, when it's all said and done, all fixed up, the home will be worth $250,000. So any hard cash lender out there, he's willing to look at that investment. In fact, he's probably crossing his fingers that I don't make my payments back to him. Why? Because he now has access to that smoking hot deal. He knows that this home, I got at 120, and ultimately when it's fixed up, it's worth well over $200,000. That's a great investment for him to put his money on. In fact, he doesn't want me to pay it back because he'd rather take the deal. The third step, which happens to be the second R, and that is rent. Once you're done with renovating the house, now it's time to get renters in place. Start bringing that income in. Now, in doing that, the best team member you can ever have when it comes to owning rentals is taking you out of the equation from managing your own rental. My best team player is a property management company. I love this guy. This guy takes care of everything. Now, including the things that we think, oh man, it's only one rental, it's gonna be just fine. Well, what about when the tenant calls you at 2 a.m. and says, the toilet's flooding? Guess who doesn't get the phone call? This guy right here. I don't. My poor property manager. He does. But that's his job. He loves it. Now, let me break down a couple things that a good property manager should do for you. Ultimately, you should be selling the dream. When you're even on your first real estate rental property that you want to purchase and keep for yourself, you should already have the mindset that you're not ending with one, you're not ending with 10, but that you want to ultimately have like 50 of these things. In fact, I tell people if your goal is to only own one rental, probably not the greatest investment. There's other investments that actually perform better than just owning one rental. The goal with having rentals is to have many. So sell that vision to your property manager. And in doing so, they will already start bringing your fees down of what they charge each and every month. A typical property manager will charge 10% of rents every month. So if you rent for $1,500, they're gonna charge you $150 a month to manage that property for you. Mine, because I bring more to them, it started at 9%, and now it's all the way down to 7%. Because as the rental portfolio grows, they're willing to keep your business and bring their prices down. Now, the other thing they're gonna manage is the lease agreements, all the contracts. They're gonna do all the background searches. They're gonna find out who's gonna be good and who's not gonna be a good fit for your home. It's crucial to understand if you want to have pets in your home or no pets in your home. For me, I'm not a fan of pets unless they're willing to pay this astronomical fee. Your landlord can manage that all. If they have a pet and they want to stay at that house, it's another $80 a month. And for that matter, I'll do it. So know what you can do, but talk with property managers. In fact, if you ever needed rental property manager in Utah, I'm always glad to share. Comment down below and tell me where you're at. And there's a good chance I probably know someone in that state that owns rentals and can probably already forward you over some good contact information for a good property manager. All right, guys, before I move on to the last one, the R, where most people make the mistake, I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you also to hit that bell so it alerts you when I put out fresh new content so that you can just keep getting out of your way and doing deals. The last process is R, and that stands for refinance. This is where you're now gonna refinance out of that loan with the hard cash lender, and you're gonna pay him back with your long-term loan that you have with like a Wells Fargo or any other bank out there. Depending on the lender that you use will determine on how fast you can refinance out of a property from the first time you buy it. Sometimes they require what's called seasoning, meaning you have to own it for X amount of months. And more importantly, you gotta have tenants in place paying for X amount of months. So they look at it as an asset and not a liability. Other conventional lenders though, the ones I've used in the past, they are willing to refinance out of it really quick. You don't have to have a seasoning period. You don't have to have tenants in there for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And it's crucial to know this beforehand. So when picking your long-term financing, this is not something that you go through this strategy and finally at the end, you're starting to interview those conventional lenders or your long-term financing. This is something that should be done the moment you recognize a property, that you're gonna buy it, that you're gonna use this BRRRR method, this BRRRR strategy. This is where you already need to be interviewing your long-term financing. because it's crucial during this time that you keep them informed the whole time. This is not something that right when the renters are in, also you call them up and say, hey, I'm ready to go. Can you refinance? And they're like, well, we don't have any information on you. We need your tax returns. We need this, we need this, we need this. And starts this whole process that could take 30 days, 60 days, sometimes even up to 4 or 5 months. That, my friends, can hurt you. Why? Because this hard cash loan, although it is convenient and allows you to close on a property super quick, also charges a lot of money. And so if you don't time this right, you start to tack on a lot of unnecessary fees that start to make this deal not look like a great deal anymore. Hey guys, as my gift to you, I want you to find a link in the description that allows you my free guide to bad properties, big profits, that really shows you how to find and locate these distressed properties so you can do a deal in as little as 30 days. Click on that link in the description and I'll see you in that training.